is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Oh, JJ Wang, week 5 is ready to go, up and rearing and roaring. And of course, after the disaster of last week, do you know what happened to me? Monday night, I went in with my super team. You saw it in our Bourbon League. I was up against one of the worst teams probably in the history of the league. He came back with a Deebo Samuel explosion, and my team is probably the best team I've ever had, lost.
Well, funny, I got a funny one too, resolved Monday night. So we were both having a bad game, like dreadful. He finished the week with 103 points. That's really, really low. And had 88 points going into Monday night's game with Matt Stafford and Brandon Ayuk. So I only needed 15 points. I got 9.
I lost. I needed 11 from Kittle in another league, and I was like, "Come on, man!" Last week just hurt. Like I won one in one league. I think I set up. I went bonkers on our auction draft, and then otherwise, it was a painful week. Like nothing felt good about last week. It just felt yucky. This week I got to play without Jonathan Taylor. Anyway, we'll get into all that stuff. We are the Fantasy Couriers as you're coming in. We're a whiny bunch of old curmudgeon-y men who love our kids, which is why we sometimes change up our schedule, but we also love fantasy football. You can hit us up on Twitter, email, Facebook, Instagram. All of it's in the comments. I'm not going to go over it. You can check out my week 5 gone, week 5 rankings on the fantasycouriers.wixsite.com/website. Once again, link is in the notes if you want to check them out. There is a lot of fun stuff going on there. We went super international, man. I'm seeing also. I saw Australia, Israel, Italy. Where else? Canada. I saw Arizona.
My goal is to get somebody from every country.
I would be. I guess that you're telling me now that I got to start keeping track of everything. But I see it. And I kept it on the phone just so I could show my wife to be like, "Hey, check this out." Well,
are there countries out there that doesn't have the internet?
Oh, yeah. I'm guessing most of them are probably like in the middle of Africa somewhere would be my guess. But I'm sure maybe not whole countries, because what happens in a lot of those countries, I had a buddy who lived over in Africa, is there's a part that's got everything and there's a part that's got nothing. And that's generally what happens around it, which is kind of sad. It's like, so somewhere they do, but I'm guessing that those mean old guys that are ruining a country are not listening to us, or else they're coming out for me now because I started a fight. But let's talk about good things. Let's get ready with a little bit of short and sit. Who are you going to start? Who are you going to sit? Let's find out. So Facebook, I put on, and their algorithms are a bunch of wonky nut stuff. Like I put a question up last night and got no responses, meaning it didn't get pushed out to people. So I tried it again today, and I got a whole slew of responses. So are you ready for our Facebook starting sets?
Sure, let's go.
Got a couple trades in here too. Ben says, do I play both Pittman and Sutton? I can bench them in favor of Olave and Hollywood. Super worried that tonight is going to be a low-scoring game. So he's got all the guys for Thursday night, or he could hold off for Olave and Hollywood. So it's almost like, which one of these 4 would you play?
I would probably play Hollywood at the moment. I'd probably put him in number 1 because I feel like he's getting like every target thrown from Kyler Murray. So I think you'd probably play him. And as far as Olave over Pittman, Olave's got like the touchdown, but he's just not getting the yards yet. So, I mean, he's very touchdown dependent, and you don't want to be that. And I think Pittman and Sutton are both more than that. I think that's right now. I think Sutton might be a little safer because Matt Ryan's playing like crap. So I would go Sutton Hollywood.
Ooh, I'd say I'd go with my 2 top guys would be Pittman and Sutton. I mean, I hate Thursday night games, and usually they stink it up. So if you're worried.
At this point, Hollywood is a top guy, right?
He's not got to Pittman. He might be higher than them. I guess I should have my stuff up here to look and see where I thought they were. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But the Sutton is getting some love from good old Russ. And let's see what I'll tell you. I have Pittman at 9, Hollywood at 10, and Sutton at 13. So based upon me, I've got to go Pittman and Hollywood.
Yeah. So like I said, it's definitely Hollywood, and Pittman or Sutton would be, like you said, whichever you prefer.
He might be overseas. He spelled favor, Favour.
I thought
Ole.
that was just a misspell.
I did too, but let's make him international. Adam wants to know Russell Wilson or Derek Carr.
I mean, the way Derek Carr is playing, I think their floor is about pretty much the same. I think Russell Wilson probably has a little more upside. So as bad as Russell Wilson's playing, Carr hasn't been playing much better. I'd probably go Russell Wilson.
You know, it's ironic. I have Derek Carr higher than Wilson this week.
I mean, it's like we're going back to the last one. It might be a low scoring game. I mean, that's a tough one, but
I have Derek Carr higher, but I would still play Wilson because I don't want to be calling my pants down. Because Wilson, he's got all those stellar receivers and stuff. So we both say Wilson, I believe. There, George wants to know Olave or Damian Pierce in a flex.
This is a tough one.
Really?
I believe so. I'm probably gonna go Pierce just because he gets the volume. He probably got more opportunities for a touchdown. So I'll probably go Pierce.
Oh, I'm Pierce. It's not even close for me. Pierce for me is a top 10 running back until further notice.
I mean, I'm not that. I mean, I'm not that prepared to go that high on Pierce yet. It like I say, he did have that one big run, which is fine, which is great. I mean, he's playing great, but to go to top 10 is a little much because Texans are playing like they're not very good at the moment.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he's a top 10 for me because he is a 3-down running back. Last week, he got all but one carry in Houston. And 3-down running backs, that extends your value up. Like, I have Najee, who's a 3-down running back at 18. But Pierce, he's top 10 until further notice, until something terrible happens. So it's Pierce by a mile. Looks like for both of us. Kenny wants to know defense suggestions. We are stellar defense guys. Miami or the Rams? Also, should I drop the Rams and pick up Baltimore?
So I don't really keep up with defenses like that. So I usually pick a defense and end up sticking with them the rest of the year. It seems like Miami's got a good defense. I mean, they've held some good teams to some low scores. They let Baltimore have a lot of points, but I'd probably go with Miami. And then, sure, if you want to drop the Rams for Baltimore, I mean, go for it. I think they're probably going to end up to be about the same, I guess.
I don't know if Baltimore. If your team is competitive, seems like it might be something to look good at for the future. Because I think I added Baltimore in a couple of places because if I am correct, I think Baltimore has a pretty nice playoff schedule, if I recall, because they're going to end up playing their division during December. So if you're stashing a defense this early in the year, that's what I would do. The Rams still have Aaron Donald, and they could get everything back together. It could be a dud of a start. Miami's defense is playing good, and you're going to want them until December when Baltimore is good because they're playing the Jets. So go for it. And I'm a Dolphins fan, so it's fun to root for my guys. Jeff wants to know, Dillon, Stevenson, Pierce, or Jeff Wilson? I need 2 running backs and 1 flex. Could also put McKenzie in there if you want to.
I mean, I'd probably go with Pierce and Stevenson here. Dillon would be and then I'd probably put Dillon in the flex. Be kind of close between McKenzie and Dillon. I think McKenzie was a little injured. I don't know if he's 100% healthy.
He's got the slot rolled himself now.
Yeah, but when he's in there, he seems to be catching a lot of balls. So I'd go Pierce and Stevenson, and then the flex, I'd go Dillon this week. Because Dillon still gets a lot of carries.
Yeah, I think I'll take all 3 of those guys with you. I would get it'd be Dillon, Pierce for running back, and then if you're wobbling around, it is PPR, so McKenzie does have a lot of value there because he out-tapped our boy Gabe last week, and with Crowder broken something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he's gonna be out for a while. Like I said, it would be a decent play, but I just like the running backs a little better.
Yeah, and Stevenson, he's got your boy Brian Zappi. It's official. Hoyer's on the IR, just so you know. He just got popped up on the IR before we started recording. So
I'm fully aware Zappi might not turn out to be any good, but it feels good that you pick somebody up just randomly that and they actually get to start.
That's why I picked up Skylar Thompson, baby.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, like, hey man, yeah, I picked up Zappi. Now he gets to play. I mean, it makes you feel smart, I guess. I don't know if that's the word.
When you guys for peanuts, that was me last year with Amon Ra. I got him for peanuts and like everywhere. Everyone's like, okay, he's this guy. He's not good. He's from Detroit. And then
he doesn't look like he's got a very strong arm.
Hey, in that offense, you don't need much. You
gotta start somewhere, right?
Felipe wants to know Singleton or Stevenson.
So Singletary or
I'll
Stevenson.
say, yeah. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't want Singletary or Stevenson.
I mean, this is a tough because Singletary doesn't get no rushing yards, evidently. I don't think the only people that run the ball on the Bills is Josh Allen. So it's just dependent on whether or not he's going to get some targets. And a running back to get targets consistently, that's a hard thing to calculate for every week. So I think Stevenson's just a little safer, right, at this point. With like you said, with Zappy starting, they're going to run the ball a lot. So I mean, it would surprise me if Stevenson and Harris both get like 20 carries.
Hey, you're not getting the argument. We're agreeing way too much. Something here is going to have to make us fight. Brandon says Russ or Golf.
This is going to sound terrible, but I'm going to have to go Jared Goff here. I mean, he's just playing better than Russ, and you look at the numbers on that.
I mean, my number 8 quarterback on the week needs to be the guy we pick. He is playing New England, but I didn't support my boy last week, and I feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be all in now. You can't be like, I'm jumping off the ship for a week. You're either in or out, dude. You gotta make a decision.
I mean, I made the mistake. I mean, I had him higher than consensus, is what I learned last week, just looking at stuff. But he, yeah, that's who I am 100% with you. I think it's going to be Golf until further notice has been one of my discussions. Joe wants to know Judy or Lazard in the flex. I think, this could be a tough one for you. This has to be your hardest question.
It's not. This is easy. I'm going Lazard. I think Lazard finally became, the Aaron Rodgers guy last night. His ankles back being fully healthy. He looked good. I mean, he had 120 yards. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to get 120 yards every game, but, I mean, he was open and Aaron Rodgers can put the ball anywhere. So we're getting 100 yards. Maybe he scores a lot of touchdowns. So, and plus, Jerry Jeudy has Russell Wilson for quarterback. So I'm going Lazard here.
There's got to be something here. I thought that might be harder for you. It's Lazard by a mile. I mean, Aaron Rodgers finally is going to have 2 receivers, right? Lazard on one side, Dubs on the other side. Okay, Steve wants to know, this is a puke question. Najee or James Conner in PPR?
I got to have somebody on my bench, right? He doesn't have any bench options and but
his bench option is probably Justice Hill or someone.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to choose between Najee and Conner, I'd go Najee Harris just because I like Najee better than Conner.
Yeah.
Got no love for. I don't know. I mean, it sounds bad, but I really don't got no love for Conner.
Nah, he's looked like puke this year. Last year, I loved him, and he got me some good trade bait out of him. But yeah, I'm with you. Najee's still a 3-down back, and push comes to shove. If it's tough, my argument always for flex is if it's a running back or receiver and they're close, I'm gonna take the running back because of the touches. In this one, same idea. If it's if it's a receiving running back who's been terrible versus a running back that gets all the rushes, might be 3.7, but it's better than 0. Adair, I believe. I apologize if I say your name is wrong. Is Ingram or Schultz?
Oh, this is I'm gonna, I'll go Ingram here. I'm not, honestly, I really haven't been up to date with Schultz. I mean, is he not playing that well?
He's not been healthy.
I mean, yeah. So I'd probably just go Ingram here. I drafted Ingram a couple places in the beginning of the season. Thought he might be something. I think he has a touchdown here and there, but I mean that's a crappy situation evidently. So I'll go Ingram.
Yeah, so Schultz missed week 3 with a PCL sprain, so that's going to slow him down. Yeah. They are 19 and 20 on my rankings, and Ingram is 19. So come on, dude, we got to disagree on something. We're getting towards the end here. Tasha wants to know Pitts or Henry this week. We're going to answer this 2 times. I'm assuming she means Hunter Henry, and that's scary, man.
Yeah, I never thought it would come to this. But I'm still not at the point where I'm benching Pitts for Hunter Henry. I'm not there yet.
No, not even close. Hunter Henry's terrible. Hunter Henry is touchdown dependent. Do you know how low? How low do you think I dropped Pitts to though this week?
Probably like 12.
Ooh, close. I have him at 11. He's right above Tyler Conklin, who could be better right now. Tyler Conklin could be better. So Pitts is at 11, which makes me sad because he's looking, and he didn't play. He's got a DNP in for today, so keep an eye on him going into the weekend as well. Zach wants to know Melvin Gordon tonight versus Indianapolis. So if you're listening to this Saturday, it's over. Or Jeff Wilson versus Carolina, full PPR.
That's a bad situation as well. Melvin Gordon looked like he didn't want to play football anymore. I'm gonna have to go Jeff Wilson. I mean, I'm not really excited about that. I just not much, just not sure the confidence level that they have in Melvin Gordon at the moment. I know 49ers are 100% confident in Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, and Melvin Gordon is pretty much, I think, who I thought Josh Jacobs was going to be this year. And yeah, he's fumbled. He's fumbled a gajillion times, and this could be the coming out party for why did I lose his name? Or the Boone could be Boone's coming out party because there's no Lat Murray. He's not playing.
We've been hearing that for 5 years.
It's Melvin Gordon or Boone. That's it. That's why it's got to be Boone tonight.
This is Boone's moment. This is Boone's
Or
moment.
Russell Wilson throws for 600 yards.
This is Boone's moment.
Trevor has a DJ Dub special here. Chase Edmonds or ETN to replace Taylor. He's already starting Robinson, so he's got James Ross. So he really, it goes a little deeper. He wants to, do I start 2 Jacksonville running backs or do I start Chase Edmonds?
I don't know, man. I want to say ETN, but I mean it's hard starting 2 running backs in a backfield that when I'm not gonna say they don't produce, but there's not a lot of points going around back there. You know what? I'll have to go Chase Edmonds just to switch, just me two separate backfields instead of one. That's a bigger possibility, right?
Chase Edmonds and ETN to me are the same human being. So, personally, I'll start Chase Edmonds because he's not getting the touches. He got like 20%, 27%. I forget what it was really low of the touches. So he's James Conner this year. He's getting touchdown dependent. Is that going to continue with Bridgewater? Who knows? I'd say pick the guy you like more. If you want to root for just the Jags to go bonkers against the Texans, I believe, go for it. If not, Chase Edmonds. I'd pick Edmonds so I could watch him while I'm watching my game. It's a coin flip, really. James wants to know, Ramondre or Romeo Dubs in full PPR?
This is not a tough one because it's a running back. That's good. It's a good running back, and we all know how valuable running backs are at the moment with everybody going down. Everybody starts getting hurt. And there's just so many running backs out there. I mean, I wouldn't trade Stevenson for Dubs at this point. I'd hold on to Stevenson.
Yeah, I think I got to as well. It's tough. I like Dubs a lot, but once again, it's the touches. Okay, let's see if we can get. You got to start 2: Lazard, Thielen, Curtis Samuel, or Olave.
So I'm definitely going Lazard. Curtis Samuel, I think he came up on the injury report, so we got to keep an eye on that. If Curtis Samuel's healthy, I'll probably go him. I'd go Lazard and Curtis Samuel because Thielen and Olave are pretty much the same player. They rely on you. They got to get a touchdown. I think the other 2 are a little safer without touchdown.
I'm going to zag. Curtis Samuel's always my go-to, but I'm good. I would be a little risque. I would go with Thielen because he is getting a lot more looks now. It's basically him and Jefferson getting the looks. And last week he had a decent week, and I think KJ Osborne's disappearing. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with any of these 4. I think you're starting Lazard, then you pick the last 3. And this week I'm starting Thielen. So I'm going to say Thielen just to be a little contrarian for you.
Hey, you go for it, buddy.
And now a message from our favorite sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Now that we are in season, they offer even more fantasy sports options. You can choose to play 4 to 6 round draft contests with up to 10 people. You can even create your own private draft room.
And that's not all. Underdog also offers pick'em fantasy contests where you decide if players will go higher or lower than a listed stat line, from touchdowns to yards to interceptions and many more. It's a fun way to show your fantasy prowess. Sign up now with the code Couriers, and they'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash.
And just in case you missed that, when you make your first deposit of $10 or more, deposit 100, get 100 free.
And with their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, you'll have no problem jumping in and drafting your squad or making your best picks.
So join Underdog today, and don't forget to use the code Couriers. A link is in the notes of the podcast.
Now back to the podcast. Game by game breakdown. Here we go. I got to work on that. I just got the music today and fell in love with it, and I got to make the official drop. I was like, that's a pretty cool music.
Let me give me some more. You get to some techno up in here. Wait for that bass to drop.
Yeah, I found it quick. I started playing it for the kids at school, and they're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we're gonna run through some games here. We'll just do the Sunday slate today and into the Monday and see what we got as far as notes as we go through. Giants and Packers are in London. Can we just get rid of these London games? I don't want to deal with it. I mean, we don't know what's gonna go on with the Giants, but we're looking at that game. It's basically Aaron Rodgers and a pretty good team versus a Giants team that's just beaten up in Saquon Barkley, correct?
I feel like that's pretty much what it is. I think it's I don't have to worry about too much of the passing game. I mean, I think Barkley's still going to eat. I think he's going to be good. And then with Aaron Rodgers, the Packers will be the same thing. I mean, Aaron Jones is going to be good, and hopefully Lazard continues his streak.
Is Saquon your RB1 this week? I'm seeing him places RB1. He's not mine, but he's a lot of places RB1.
I'd probably stick with Chubb just this week, just because they are in London. I've never been to London, so I really don't know how it affects an athlete. But then again, I'm really not an athlete, so I don't know how really any of this affects anybody. So, but it is a long trip. People say they don't like it. I'm going to go with Chubb just because he's stateside.
Yeah, I think if I find out Daniel Jones isn't playing, I might even move Saquon down a couple spots. He's my number 2, but because they're going to put just 12 in the box, not even worry about quarterback, and just because he was quarterback for a couple plays last week, it was hilarious.
Don't they do that anyway? Do they even throw the ball anyways?
Daniel Jones runs. I think before he got hurt, he had like 76 yards, 6 passing, and 64 running, or something to that effect within those numbers. It was hilarious. Like, my team looks great because I had like 2 rushing touchdowns one week, and I was like, wow, thanks, Daniel Jones is my super flex. I think I'm down to he might be one of my only quarterbacks on one of my teams. It's been a rough week. Okay, we're going to the walloping of the week. Like, this could be one of the ugliest games of the week. The Bills versus the Steelers. Is this a point where you have to consider whether you play Najee Harris or not?
I mean, I still think, like I said, there's not a lot of options to go around. I think if you've got Najee, you've got to start him. I don't think there's a lot of better options. But I mean, like if you have Ramondre Stevenson or Najee Harris, and you could start one in the flex, who you going with, right?
I mean, you're looking at Ramondre. Sorry.
But I feel like at that point you got both. You're probably got to start both of them.
Yeah, but you got Ramondre late, so you might have got Najee early, a couple guys in the middle.
Yeah, maybe.
Sorry, I am all stopped up here. So yeah, and so if you have a bench where you got guys late, you could possibly have Deontay Johnson, Gabe Davis, and Pickens on your team, and you can only start 2 of those guys. Who are you setting?
I'm gonna go with Pickens coming off the 100-yard game. Pickett's coming in there. Let's see how far they can go with this. I want to say Gabe Davis, but he's been pretty cold lately. So I'll probably go Deontay Johnson because he's a little safer.
Man, I don't know if I can set Pickens. I'm wondering if he's having that. You know how that quarterback comes in that was running second team stuff where Pickens was?
I'm not setting Pickens. Yeah, I'm not going to set Pickens.
Oh, so you're not setting? Who are you setting then? Sorry, I misunderstood you.
Who am I? I'll probably say Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis would be 3.
Yeah, I'm setting him this week. It kills me. I'm starting Thielen over him. Chargers and Browns. So this is a battle of running backs. You got receivers that you're like questionable about. There's Williams, who's underwhelmed. Allen might not play. Palmer, who's gotten usually a touchdown each week. Amari Cooper in that bunch. Any of those you're comfortable starting?
I'm probably still comfortable with Mike Williams. He's probably the most comfortable with. I mean, if I got to pick one of them to be comfortable with, I mean, I'm not really Palmer. I don't know. He seems like he's gotten a lot of opportunity, but he just can't. Like, he might get a touchdown, but there's like really nothing else there except Allen's probably not going to play. Right? Was there another one?
He's Cooper. Cooper might be my answer.
And Cooper give you 20 points, and then like last week give you 1 point. But then again, that's been the story of Cooper on his career, right? He's always been a boomer bust. So I'm gonna go with Mike Williams.
I got Mike Williams higher. I gotta stick to my stick with what I got. I can't believe that. Texans Jags.
Oh God.
You got the battle of the running backs you got way later. So these probably aren't guys you could start. You have Robinson, you have Etienne, you have Pierce. And you probably have 1 or 2 good running backs in front of them because you only use one of those in the flex. Which one of them would you put in?
Probably go Pierce because he's got all the work. I'm still worried. James Robinson coming off a bad game. so you never know how they're going to react to it. I think there's going to be more of a split there. There's no split in Houston, so probably stick with Damian Pierce.
How close is Nico Collins to a flex?
I don't know.
He's getting targets, man.
I mean, maybe next week if he does it again, might think about it. But I need a little bit more confidence in the Houston Texans. Even though they did look like they could score a few more points this week than in the past. So.
And I was looking at Zay Jones last week till he didn't play. Yeah. Bears and Vikings. Do you start? Is Montgomery might not play or the running? Do you start anybody on the Bears?
I mean, other than if Montgomery doesn't play,
you start
Herbert, right?
But Montgomery does play.
Well, then probably wouldn't start either one of them. One of them's probably going to hit. I mean, probably got to start one of them. Just like I keep saying, the landscape of the situation that we got going on in fantasy football, you just can't take away a whole backfield and not start any of them. So you probably have to pick one. I'd probably go with Herbert.
Dow Cook over Najee Harris or under Najee Harris?
I'd say over.
You can't have both of them, but yeah.
I'd probably say over. It's tough, though.
Lions, Patriots. Just straight up, do the Lions win this game?
I know. This is the game where the Lions look like straight dog poop, and the Patriots probably roll them. It's one of those weird games.
Would you start Jamal Williams over every Patriots running back?
Oh, that's a tough one. No, because Belichick takes away the best weapon, right? And I think probably Jamal Williams is their best weapon at this point. So you take away the run game and make old Jared Goff stand back here and beat you.
So Jared Goff, top 8 quarterback. There we go. Saints and Seahawks. Ugh. Is Geno a top 15 quarterback this week?
Heck yeah, man. Let's ride that train.
Okay. Speed round as we get through here because we got to wrap this up. Dolphins, Jets, Tyreek and Waddle. Are you playing them both or are you worried about Waddle?
I'd probably be a little safer with Tyreek. So I might be a little worried about – I mean, it's hard to say. You know what? This could be the game where I'm not worried. I'm just going to continue going on like this as we do every other week with these two.
Flex spot. Any of those – is Breece Hall still the one of the 4 you would play for all these running backs? You're looking at Chase Edmonds. You're looking at Michael Carter. You're looking at Breece Hall. And you're looking at
Breece Hall would be number 1. Yeah.
Okay. How bad do you got to be to start Zach Wilson?
You got to be desperate. I mean, you got to have Tua going down and Wilson being like your third guy, and then Hoyer also going down, and you're down to Bailey's. You're down to bare bones here.
Falcons, Buccaneers. Is this the week Tom Brady breaks out big time?
I mean, kind of had a decent fantasy game last week. I know it was garbage, but like you said, we take garbage. But I think he plays. I think he plays better. As he starts to get his weapons back, I think he plays better.
Falcons running back.
I'm gonna go Algier.
Ooh, Caleb Huntley get anything, or is he just a name for a week?
I mean, he might get some carries. I think both of them are going to get to work. I think Algier get a few more carries, but one of them gets hot, they'll stick with him.
Commanders, Titans.
Oh, it's gonna be a good game.
Tannehill or Wentz? You got him on your super flex number 2.
God. I'll go Wentz.
I'm starting Wentz.
He's got more options.
Any thought on Nick Akini Westbrook since Burks is out?
Not really.
Robert Woods then?
Not sure, but I'm not even too excited about Derrick Henry's about the only guy that I like on that team.
Should you trade Antonio Gibson right now?
I mean, if you can.
Brian Robinson looks good.
But that probably should have happened weeks ago if you were going to trade. Well, I know we said hold on to him. But, if you can get rid of him, go for it.
Panthers, 49ers, not much to this game. They're terrible. Quarterbacks, Debo's going to be great. Kittle, keep an eye on him. What I'm hearing a lot of the Kittle thing is he's basically become a tackle because Williams is out. So keep an eye on that. And
Kittle's a good blocker.
Kittle's a great blocker. Eagles and the Cardinals. What's the possibility that this week Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts are 1-2 because this game becomes a shootout?
I mean, it's very possible because the Eagles are going to blow them out, and then Kyler's going to do what Kyler does and rack up a bunch of points in the last 20 minutes.
Miles Sanders, top 12 running back, rather?
No. I'm not getting too excited here.
What's it could take for you? I got him at 11. What's it could take for you to get him some respect?
I mean, maybe oh my God, stop with this respect.
Oh, it's the Eagles. Eagles need respect, man. They don't get any respect.
No respect. Week 4, win a couple more games. What happened to the last team or last year when the season Well, the Cardinals were what 7-0, 8-0.
Yeah.
Steelers were like 11-0. See how much respect they deserved, right?
Cowboys and the Rams. Better start Cooper Rush or Matt Stafford?
Cooper Rush.
Woo!
I hate you, Stafford.
I can't even compare. Who would you rather start, Cam Akers or Zeke?
Oh my God, probably Zeke.
I was looking at one of my teams. I think Zeke has 10 more points than Hilliard for the year. Bengals at the Ravens. Which quarterback has a better week?
Bengals at the Ravens. I'm gonna go Ravens.
Which receiver from the Bengals would you start in a DFS if you had to pick one?
I'm gonna go Chase. I'll go Jamar Chase. Well, Higgins is. Hey, I'll go Chase. I don't know. I don't like you.
Raiders and Chiefs Monday night. Going to be a slugfest. Does Derek Carr finally get in the top 10 because he has to?
No, he's played really bad. I don't see it happening.
Josh Jacobs shut down by the Chiefs.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay.
Blowout.
DJ Dove will be live Saturday night for a Facebook Live. It'll be right after, probably sometime after the baseball game because it's baseball playoffs and my Guardians have 3 games. That's about it because then they got to play the Astros if we can win this one. So, JJ Wang, give us some words of wisdom to wrap up the week. Have a great week. Put some questions on Facebook over the week. I'll put a thread up and you all can ask them and we'll be there for you. Hey,
since Matt Stafford, destroyed me, don't be afraid to trade these guys that burn these bridges. I mean, if they make you mad, and you're just like, I'm tired of it. Don't be afraid to get rid of them. You don't just have to keep on just because, it's a quarterback. But that's what the best thing about fantasy. Somebody makes you mad, instant reaction. You can get rid of them if you want to. It's fantastic. I hate you, Matt Stafford. I'm trying to get you off all my teams. So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.